What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Virzi Effect podcast show. My name is Paul Virzi, and you guys are listening to episode 621. Okay, and this episode is me solo. I hope everybody's doing good. I'm sorry, I started out this one different with all this new equipment, but yes. Welcome back to the Virzi Effect show. You guys listening to episode 621. I am solo here in my studio. I got the new shit in the studio, trying to still figure this shit out. But this is going to be a different episode. Okay? This is going to be a different Virzi Effect. I'm not going to go down and talk about a bunch of different things like always. Obviously, there's no guest. I'm not doing an online guest. I'm obviously not doing anything in the studio. This is just me talking to you about what I think happened last Saturday with the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. Now, I want to be very clear about this. I am not talking about politics. As far as people's policies, I'm not talking about who I like, who I'm voting for, who I voted for. If you guys are fans of me, you know that I didn't vote for Trump or Biden. I voted for Eli Manning. Uh, and but I'm somebody who pays attention to things. I feel like I'm very perceptive, and I'm going to give you what I think happened. Okay. It took me a while to comprehend what happened as far as how I think this went down. Okay. And look, I'm a comedian, and I'm a comedian who does not only this podcast, but other podcasts. And, we're funny, or we try to be funny and whatever. So obviously what I say is just my opinion, but it hit me in the mall. What happened? And I think I'm right. I think this is what happened. And I'm just going to go through it, and that's it. I don't know how long this podcast will be. This podcast will be 15 minutes. This podcast will be a half hour. It could be an hour. I don't know. I'm just going to talk about what happened. I'm going to give you my opinion of what happened, and we can go from there. Of course, I'm getting text messages here. Let's see. Anyway, here's what I'm thinking. Uh, First of all, in my opinion, first of all, I can't believe that it was headed right for his head, and then he turned and it nicks his ear in that moment. That's crazy, miraculous, whatever you want to call it. Let me also say this. I don't care how you feel about Donald Trump or anything, but anybody like upset the guy missed and wish Donald Trump got killed, then you're against what you say, which is for peace and all that stuff. You're against all of, you act like you're not for violence, but there's, people who wanted him dead and shit like that. Like, oh, I wish the guy didn't miss and stuff. You're a piece of shit, really, really, because anybody who wants to see somebody get their head blown off, regardless, I'll be honest with you, I don't know if I could ever hate a president enough to want to see their brains get blown out in front of the world and their family. Like, I don't know if I could ever have hate like that. And if you do have hate like that in you, then you're just totally a piece of shit. Really, that's how I feel. Now, in my opinion, there is absolutely 1,000% no chance that that building would be unsecure. Now they have proof that the local police department was supposed to take care of that roof, but instead they were in a window higher up than it. All the while, this fucking lunatic, um, who I think was hired. I think I could be wrong, but I just don't think you can give access to a roof to somebody who uses a ladder Strangers are seeing it, going, what's going on with that? Minutes and minutes go by of the kid crawling on his stomach, setting up. Nothing happened. People seeing a ladder there, a ladder even being allowed near a building structure that's 130 yards away from where a potential, president or presidential candidate is. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. And people are going, Giannis Papas was over the house and we're talking about it. And I'm going, dude, what do you think, man? And we're just like, if that's a blunder, that's the biggest security blunder in the world. Uh, how can that be allowed? How could people have missed it? Then you're hearing things that even after fires were shot, they were like, hold on, wait. And then as soon as it was done, they laced the kid up and they killed the kid badly with bullets. I just feel like I feel like it was known he was going to be there by certain people. Okay. Um, 100%. I don't think it's a coincidence that this happened after that horrific debate by Joe Biden. I don't think that it's a coincidence. Um, the timing of all of this, uh, I don't think it's a coincidence right before the national conventions. Um, One thing that a homicide detective told my father years ago, he said, there's really no such things as coincidences when it comes to people getting fucking murdered. And a lot of that is true. I'm sure that there's been exceptions to that, but a lot of that is true. But you're thinking, well, how can this happen? How can this had to be a blunder? How can this be? How can this happen? And I'm going to tell you how it happened. I think my opinion is that instead of the Kennedy thing, right? The Kennedy thing was Lee Harvey Oswald up in a building. Nobody saw him. There's smoke coming from the grassy knoll. Nobody saw anybody really, or a couple people, but it was all hidden. Um, I think that now the way that they did this, and I don't know if I should be saying this, but this is just my fucking opinion. Again, I'm a comedian. I tell dick jokes in strip malls. I think this was let's make it look like a blunder and just have the assailant in plain sight. I think this was like an over obvious in plain sight. No, this couldn't be. It had to be a security thing. They let a guy right there. Everybody saw him. I think that that's the way you had to do it this time. Okay. I think that that's the way you had to do it this time. It's my opinion. I think that it's the only way to do it this time with technology. The only way that you can really do this is to have it be like, no, nobody even like nobody thought anything. I mean, like then all of a sudden this weird kid with a ladder went up there and just like people, I feel like it almost had to look like some crazy security blunder that nobody saw, or that people just couldn't believe, like it was in plain sight. If no conspiracy would be that if they really wanted to kill him, you think they'd have some kid show up with a ladder? Of course, it had to be some security thing. I think that that's the way that they did this one. I think the way they say, "Oh, in plain sight." I think that that's what this was. I think that this was a clear setup by some people. I mean, come on, guys, come on, think about this for a second. You know, it is almost comical. You got a fucking podium 130 yards away, an aerial vantage point, which is the top of a roof, and you got a kid hanging out in front of it. There's footage of a kid by himself in front of it while people see. Then he puts up a fucking ladder. Then he's crawling on his stomach. They called off the team that was supposed to be there and to put him in another place. People for minutes are going, what's going on up there? I see somebody up there. Come on, guys. Tried to kill him, man. Tried to fucking kill him. There's no other way. There's no other way. If if that happens any other time, The guy doesn't even get the ladder on the side of the building. And as soon as he gets the ladder on the side of the building, that shit is shut down. So I think that what happened here was they're like, no, this is just going to be open in public. And we'll, tell a couple of people, no, stand down. It's nothing. We don't want to make a thing, blah, 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 until it's too late. That's my opinion. I just don't see any other way that it's possible. I was walking in the mall and it hit me. I go, no, no, no. The guy's in plain sight. It's not, it's also, I think to me, not a coincidence that it's an unassuming fucking weirdo looking kid. They could just kill him real quick. He could have been brainwashed, but they just kill him real quick. They could have been like, hey, man, you have access to that. Go do it, whatever. And they're going to fucking kill the kid, you know. But, this wasn't some fucking special ops looking kid. This wasn't some kid looked like he should be in a fucking chess club in fucking, 11th grade, with one other friend that looks like him. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, to his family, whatever, but like this kid doesn't look like a kid that can do that. This kid doesn't look like a kid that can, get up on a roof and put together the thing and do all that stuff. And again, guys, I could be wrong, but so think about the things that had to have happened in order for this to happen. One, you see a kid roaming around the front of this building by himself while other people see him. So if other people saw him, high sniper teams and other people had to at least be seeing this. Okay? They let that go. Then he goes around, he puts a fucking ladder up. They let that go. Then they see him on top of the building crawling on his stomach. They let that go. I mean, what are we talking about here? They go days in advance, sometimes week in advance before these speeches. They look at vantage points. They look at the high roofs. They look at the windows. They do a 360 of where shots could come from. Professional snipers all around. And this fucking kid just throws a ladder up there and gets off shots, kills an innocent person, gets off 8 shots, by the way. 8? 8? Snipers are up there. Professional people are up there. 8? Not, oh, we heard something. Oh, it's right there. Bam, bam. 8? I get it. It's an AR, Paul. It wasn't a sniper rifle. It's easier to just pop them off. Fine. Still got off 8 shots. So what you're saying is the people that don't believe what I'm saying, and again, this is up for discussion. This is comedian Paul Virzi's opinion of what happened. But the idea that this kid could do that. So this is the biggest blunder. That's what you're saying. This is the biggest security blunder in history against one of the most hated people, the media, politicians. He's going all these trials. Again, I didn't vote for him, but I have eyes, guys. I see what's going on. This guy's going in here. They're doing everything they can. All these different things it seems like they're doing, you know? Um, and he's winning. He's winning in the polls. Okay. The debate for the Democratic Party is an absolute disaster. The current president can't really speak. Let's be honest, he can't really speak, if we're being honest. The whole world saw it. Then his own party and politicians and friends start calling for him to not run. Okay? Start calling for him to not run. Get out. It's over. It was an embarrassment, blah, 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 this and that. So during all of that, when you see the what's going on, and then this happens, and it happens in plain sight, and oh, it was just a blunder. I can't believe he got let up there. How could this have happened? In 2024, which is how many years? How many years after Kennedy? How many decades after Kennedy? After the John F. Kennedy gets killed in the streets of Dallas, Texas, from the observatory or wherever that bullet came from, so many decades later, when a former president who's running for president and leading for the presidency and all these people that hate him on one side and his opponent is falling apart, and you want to tell me that this fucking 20-year-old nerdy looking kid just threw up a ladder, crawled on the thing, had time to set up a sniper rifle. People saw it. People were saying something about it. 4 something minutes went by, and then he shoots off bullets and hits the the former president in the ear, and then the president drops, or he would have been killed, and all that stuff. And you expect me to believe, and you want American people to believe, okay? And everybody in the world knows what happened. Other countries know what happened. This isn't some freak accident. If Trump had gotten hit and lost his life, okay, and I don't wish that on anybody, God forbid, I don't wish that on anybody, okay? Unless you hurt my family, then all right. But, you know, everybody knows what happened. And if he lost his life and got killed on TV in front of the American people, God forbid, you think that it would just be, oh, that was just a security blunder. They found, no, everybody would know. But because he didn't, that's another one of my things too, is that because he didn't, and because he's, you know, walking around with a bandage on, and everybody, you got to give the guy credit, man. The guy was getting shot at. He put his fist up and said, fight. That's some gangster shit. Like him or not, some gangster shit. But, if he got killed, you think they would have just said, oh, it was a security blunder? No, there'd be the biggest uproar in the world. Be the biggest uproar in this country's history, or from a long time. So it happened in plain sight, because I think that that's the only way that they could go. Well, how could this have happened? That's crazy. How did this happen? I think that's the only way it could have happened. Because a real assassin is not going to make those mistakes. I almost think too that it's weird, the AR-15 instead of a sniper rifle. I think the whole thing was made to look exactly what it was, but he missed. So what I think, again, it's my theory, but I really, and I know it's funny, I'm like sneaker shopping in the mall with my little girl, and she's looking at some things, and I'm just going, man, that's so crazy that happened. I'm just thinking. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, it had to happen like that. It's like an in plain sight, obvious thing. That's the only way, and I'm like, you know what? When I go on the Virzi effect, I'm just going to say what I think happened. Because I can't believe in my lifetime, after seeing and reading and documentaries and movies and all the things that you heard and read about what happened to John F. Kennedy and all these different things. And then I saw the security when I was at Madison Square Garden and Trump came in. I saw the security when I was at Madison Square Garden and Trump came in to the arena during UFC. I saw the security because I tried going to the bathroom, and I started seeing people talking their ears and looking around and securing areas. And I knew he was coming in. And then sure enough, a minute later, he came in. Okay. But I saw like the preparation and where they were looking and what they were doing and how they were setting up and all these different things that they were doing. Now, granted, I know that's inside and in a controlled place, but this thing that this kid was on was right there. It was right there. You had people in the field going, what's this guy doing, dude? Can somebody find, think about how nuts that is. And people go, no, dude, it's just a blunder by the Secret Service, fucked up because it was sloped. They didn't put anybody on that one. That's the explanation. Oh, local authorities were supposed to be there, but they went to a higher window instead. Okay, so then shouldn't somebody have been right, especially if you were supposed to be, if your detail was that building and you're supposed to be there? And if you're in a window somewhere else looking down, shouldn't, as soon as you see a ladder or somebody out there, get on your earpiece and go, yeah, we got a kid with a ladder coming up to this fucking thing, and yank that fucking nerd and get him the fuck out of there? Like, so it's, I think it's very naive to think that this wasn't a setup. It's actually the craziest thing to think that this happened just randomly on a fucking rooftop that was empty. And people saw him minutes before and nothing was done is the craziest thing for me. It just couldn't have happened. It's impossible to happen. And that's exactly what I think their plan was. Like, I think that they could say, what do you think they're going to let you think that, of course, it's a blunder. See, this is their excuse in my mind. Of course, it's a blunder. You think they're going to, right? They could say that. You think we're just going to let somebody in plain sight just go there with a fight? You think no, somebody was supposed to be there. It's a very unfortunate thing, but lucky the president or lucky he survived. And, we move on. We feel sorry for the person that lost their life and died. And then it's a failed attempt. But come on, man. That you expect anybody to believe that? But here's the thing. Half the people want to believe that. And a majority of the people are stupid. The majority of the people are stupid. And it's kind of funny. Registered Republican. Let's talk about this now. Registered Republican. Oh, he had Trump signs all over his thing. But then some people, but he donated money to the Democratic Party. I mean, these are all stories that I'm hearing. I don't know if any of this is true. These are just stories that were told, and these are just things that people are hearing. But he's a Republican and he had Trump signs all over. But then he wants to fucking, shoot the guy through his fucking head in front of everybody like that. So what? All of a sudden he got mad at something? You don't think about this for a second. You don't go from liking somebody in recent times to then going and trying to kill them. That doesn't make sense. You could be mad and turn on them. And you know what you do? What a normal person does is they throw away the sign and they put the other guy's sign on. But to like somebody, neighbors going, oh no, he always had Trump things going on. It's funny that they say that to you. So this is what I think. I think things will come out later. Things we'll never know. Maybe we'll never know. Since Trump survived, we may never know why that kid was there, why he was never questioned, and all those things. You're never going to be told the truth, but this is just what I think. I think a select few people who were in charge or had something to do with this might have looked the other way, might have said, let the, or the kid was brainwashed. But either way, to say that this was just 100% blunder and they fucked it up and they can't believe it. And oh my God. And it's the one building that it's just not true, in my opinion. So there you go. I just feel as though as soon as you saw a kid lingering over there and saw a ladder, as soon as you saw a fucking ladder going up to a building and people going, hey, 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 and trying to get people's attention about it and nothing done, nah. A 20-year-old kid got up a ladder with an AR-15 on an empty building 130 yards away from where the president is speaking. That's the craziest thing I've ever fucking heard. And I don't buy, we're living in some matrix. I'm buying any of that shit. No, we're living in a world where the fucking country's divided, okay? And people are fucking doing whatever they can to stop somebody. That's what I'm seeing, and that's what none of this shit is bullshit. And I'm going to tell you something. It's going to push a lot of people to Trump. It's going to push a lot of people because people are seeing the court dates. Now they're seeing assassination attempts. It's just, then the guy puts his fist up and says, fight. Again, I don't care. You may not like me for saying this, or you may say, like, what the fuck? I used to like Virzi, but he's fucking, giving props to Trump. No. I'm just seeing what they're trying to do to this guy. And I saw that he put his fist up after fucking taking a bullet through flesh. I saw one guy goes, Virzi, relax. He lost his shoe. It's like, you fucking asshole. An asshole you are. He's got bullets flying by his fucking head. One pierces his ear. Somebody next to him gets fucking killed. And then the guy gets up with blood coming down from his face in a complete panic, not knowing what really is going on. And he puts his fist up and he says, fight in that moment. You got to give props to that. I voted for Eli Manning. I still give props for that shit. I don't care what anybody says. That's some wild shit. Um, but you know, I I I just think that I think that we are living in some wild times. And I think the fact that we can see that in our lifetime, you know, been no fucking attempts on Biden's life, you know? Uh, and I'm not saying that there should be. It's a good thing. But it just seems like after that debate and all that stuff, they were like, nah, this ain't good. This ain't good. So and again, the last thing I'll say, I don't want to sound like a broken record. I think they picked the perfect type of person, you know? Let's get this fucking Stranger Things looking kid wandering around. Nobody will really say anything and blah, blah, blah. And then we'll just go, oh my God, how could it happen like that? There you go. That's my thing. And it's a sad thing, man. It's a sad thing to know that in America in 2024, in a state like Pennsylvania, that somebody could be standing there at a rally talking about something and somebody can come within a half inch of blowing their brains out on national TV, just like what happened to John F. Kennedy. In it, and there's been proof that John F. Kennedy, that the conspiracies and that people wanted to take John F. Kennedy out. So I don't think that this is any different. I just think they had to go about it different. Boom, there you go. I'm done. That was what I wanted to say. And what do I know? I tell jokes. Speaking of jokes, I will be in Seattle July 26th and 27th at Laugh Comedy Club in Seattle. Get your tickets. It's going to be a fucking blast. I'm bringing a bunch of new material, an entire new hour from the Netflix special. I'm going to make an announcement soon on my new special, everybody. So that is coming. And then we have a bunch of other dates. Baltimore, we got fucking a bunch of different places. Come up, man. Talk to me. Let's take pictures at shows. I'm coming to Tampa, coming to Rhode Island. I'm coming, like I said, to Baltimore. I'm going to Germany. I'm going to be in Yonkers, my birth town. Go to paulverzi.com for all tickets. And I believe we're canceling and moving Portland. Portland is going to be canceled and moved. It's supposed to be the next day, which is Sunday from when I'm in Seattle, but it's not going to work out. So I'm sorry about that. It'll be another day. And there you go. So this has been a Paul Verzi conspiracy theory, Trump assassination episode of the Verzi Effect. And guys, if you think I'm 100% wrong, that's fine. That's the beauty of things like this. It's up for a discussion. I'm not a lunatic who thinks it's one way. I'm actually somebody that would have a beer with you. Well, I'm not drinking beer right now because I'm getting in shape, but I go White Claw. But I would talk to you and go, okay, what do you think? Because I have an open mind about things. And more people in this country need to have an open mind about things. And more people in this country need to stop hating the other side on both fucking sides. Okay. And just go back to, hey, you feel this way, I feel that way, but I love you. Let's go play golf. That's what it should be. So, there you go. This has been episode 221. I'm glad we didn't see a public murder. I'm glad that, I feel sorry. My heart goes out. Rest his soul to the gentleman, Corey, the fire chief in Pennsylvania, who lost his life just being there, supporting the politician that he wanted to support, and losing his life. And I heard he did some real heroic shit by diving on his daughter and wife when bullets were flying and he lost his life. It's horrible. So anyway, it was a sad thing to see, a horrible thing to see. I could understand why people got angry just to have that happen. because of politics is so fucking silly and ridiculous, and hopefully people can learn from it. And you know what people need? Laughter, everybody. Laughter, and just be happy, healthy, and all that stuff. But that's my 2 cents. I hope you enjoyed this Virzi effect. I was like, what else am I going to talk about? I'm not going to sit here and talk about anything else. This is like the biggest thing in the history of the country as far as politicians, and they're kind of sweeping it under the rug because he survived. But that was some crazy shit. Because I make no mistake about this, guys. If this dude didn't survive that, this country would be, the things that would be going on would be, trust me, it would be bad, man. So let's just be glad and hope for the best for everybody. And there you go. I will see you guys next week on the Virzi Effect. I'll try to have a guest in studio. I hope everybody's having a good summer. I love you, and I will talk to you guys very soon. Take care.